to Talkulture. I am Kid Cadet. Happy Thursday to wherever you are watching from. I am super excited to get this stream underway. So without any further ado, let's welcome the one and only Ricky Armellino.
That was the most jubilant and expressive introduction I have ever received on a podcast before.
Was it? I've had a lot of rest. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling energetic. I mean, I feel like you have to, right? You gotta bring it.
Yeah.
What are you drinking? What's your go-to Starbs order? Is that what they call it, Starbies?
Oat milk cappuccino.
Okay, delicious.
It doesn't wake you up if it's not.
Right. Fair. Very fair. Well, thank you so much again. I wanted to kind of start. I think this should be a Corgi appreciation live stream. So I would love to talk Corgis. What is your favorite thing about your dog and about Corgis in general?
God, I can't say enough about how much I love that thing. So Starks he has a couple different personalities and they're all funny. I like all of them, but they're very different animals. And the one is his play personality is probably the most stubborn and what's the right word for it? He's just so tenacious. I have to decide when he's done playing. He'll hurt himself. He can't stop playing. He can't stop playing. He doesn't know how. He'll just keep going. So I remember years ago, me and Adam took him to a soccer field and we're just kicking a soccer ball around. And he ended up hurting his back and we didn't know for a while just because he doesn't know how to stop playing. Big dogs will play tug of war with bigger dogs. The other dog will eventually just get bored and stop because Starks will just be getting drug around and he will not let go. He won't let go. But then when he's home and he's just in his element in the house, he's timid. If you're holding an object he's unfamiliar with, he kind of will just look at you and walk out of the room. It isn't particularly shocked or anything like that, but he doesn't like new things when he's in his home personality. And he's also extremely, extremely easy to deal with. He just needs to play like 20 minutes a day, go on a walk or two. One of the easiest dogs in the world to deal with. Everybody loves them.
Oh, I love Corgis so much. It's like it's you and the queen, right? I mean, like she had all these royal Corgis, so there must be something very special about Corgis.
Oh my gosh, I think I'll probably continue owning Corgis throughout my life. If I do continue to get more dogs, they're such a good companion animal. They're really easy to train. They're extremely, extremely loyal, and just all they want is food. It's all they want.
Same.
So you just give them you give them a couple treats, and they'll do whatever you prefer that they do.
Yeah, I love that. Yes, I am loyal, and I too love treats. So I have a lot in common with Corgis. To pivot just a little bit, you're also getting compliments on your holiday cup from Starbucks, which I guess is like the one from this year.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so you grew up in is it? I don't know how to pronounce it. Lancaster? Is that? Am I saying
Lancaster? We say Lancaster, and then in California there's a Lancaster as well. I moved to Lancaster when I was 3 years old.
Mm-hmm. Was there like a big music scene there? What was it like?
No. No, okay. But we did have a music scene. So I started doing shows and stuff. My first show I ever went to go see was Our Lady Peace at the Chameleon Club. And I also saw Dashboard Confessional of Brand New when I was really young. Whoa. And then I started going to like the Creation Music Festival. So we had the Chameleon Club. It's a club in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And I started seeing bands there. I started playing guitar in a band called Shut Up Gorgeous. A couple older guys. I was the young guy. And we opened for Thrice early November. We opened for Static Lullaby. So those were some of the bigger shows I played. I was like 15. And there started being kind of like a hardcore scene growing because there was a couple dudes, and one of them was JB, John Brubaker from August Burns Red. Awesome dude. He started booking shows at the fire hall that we had called the it was right by Park City. What I can't even remember. It was what do you call, one of like the all the guys who went to war, they all go to the fire hall. What's it called? I
The
can't remember.
oh my
American
gosh,
Legion. The
the
American Legion.
legions. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So we started doing so I remember JB started booking shows there and a couple other spots. And he started getting these bands in town. Sorry, I'm so stuffed up tonight, but he started getting bands in town. We were talking like Evergreen Terrace and On Broken Wings and the Red Chord, and so August Burns Red would play a lot of those shows, and so would a couple other bands from our area. We had one called Boy Wonder that was pretty popular. We had one called Albert React and Sadaharu, and then I was in a band called Bedford Exit, and then I eventually started This or the Apocalypse, and then I started touring. I was around 19 when that started.
Wow.
So Lancaster, I think August Burns Red was really the big thing that started a movement of music, and then all of a sudden everything was metalcore. From that point on, you had a whole bunch of bands. You had August Burns Red, This is the Apocalypse, Texas in July, and then you had tons of other ones, kind of like surrounding all those. And you started having some really big shows. So out of nowhere, Lancaster kind of went from being, it's a small area, but it's close to a lot of bigger cities. It's close to New York City, Baltimore. It's close to Washington, D.C. It's like 3 hours away from Pittsburgh. You could get to whatever the big city is in Delaware if you wanted to go there. I forget which one is that?
That city in Delaware, that one. Yeah,
you could go there if you want to. You could go to Jersey. You could go to the shore. So Lancaster, though it's a really small place, there are a lot of bigger cities around it. So the people in Lancaster it wasn't like being in the middle of the Midwest where you had to drive 5 hours to get to a city. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, if you didn't turn out being a musician, you also could have been a wrestler, because that seems to be like the common thing for wrestlers. Like, you're in this town, and then 3 hours this way is one city, and then you make town.
Is that what wrestling?
Say that again?
You think I could have been a wrestler?
I think so. Yeah. Okay. Why not?
Very cool.
Why not?
I did Russian martial arts growing up.
Oh, you did? Okay, that's pretty cool.
It's called Sambo.
Dang. Okay, so do you recall like the first memory that you had, or first moment that you knew that you were a musician? Did something just click for you, or did you wake up one day and you're like, this is it for me?
No, never. I don't know what drew me to music. I think it was just I wanted attention, but I was never particularly a very musical person. I do remember that Lion King soundtrack hitting. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. That one was hit. Like Hakuna Matata. There were some jams on it.
Yo, shout out Alan Menken. Yep, he did the thing. Yeah.
And then I would I'd kind of passively listen to stuff. My sister had a CD collection, and I played games on my parents' Apple IIgs computer. So I was listening to a pretty steady cycle of like Nirvana and Rage Against the Machine and Alanis Morissette and Wu-Tang and Busta Rhymes and Green Day. And I had no interest in knowing what the artists looked like. I had no interest in knowing their history. I didn't want to know what the songs were about. I didn't care. Mm-hmm. I would just listen to those CDs. And I was like 12 years old. I was at my friend Mike's house. Me and him fell out of touch for years, just because we graduated high school and went on. And I just recently connected with him. He popped up on Instagram. I got a notification because he's still in my contacts. It was like, your contact Mike has an Instagram now. So I messaged him. I messaged him from the Hawk account, which I never really go on that often. So he gets a random message from this band Hawk. It's like, holy shit, Mike, what's up, dude? I'm sure he looked at it, was like, oh God, him. But I was at his house and he sat me down. He's like, yo, have you ever heard this before? And he played Sublime. Mm-hmm. First time I heard that song Santeria, I was like, ooh, I think I like music. And he told me Bradley from Sublime's whole story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That he died of a drug overdose, and he sang about it, and he had this dog and all this stuff. And or wait, no, he died in a car accident.
He gosh, yeah.
Wait, no, I'm thinking of the guy from Snot. Bradley died of a drug overdose.
Yes.
The guy from Snot died of a car accident with his dog. That was really
oh
sad.
my God, horrible.
Yeah. But so he tells me the whole story, and I remember the lyric "One day I'm gonna lose the war" was in there, and that was the first time that I acknowledged that lyrics had an ability to create an emotional effect, and I think I was a little hooked on that. Like I was a little hooked on this whole mythology around this singer, and then that kind of led to me getting into. I sort of slipped into becoming a really big fan. I loved Radiohead. I loved Radiohead, and I got into all like the '90s stuff. Bush, Nirvana. Fell in love with Kurt Cobain. Fell in love with some of the punk bands. AFI. Loved the Anti-Flag. And then that kind of led way to all the emo stuff. So then I found I got an At the Drive-In CD at the mall, and then it was done. I had a fucking sweater on. I had a collared shirt underneath the sweater every day. Girls started saying they liked the way that I dressed, and I was like, dude, I am just literally looking at what people look like on this new MTV2 channel. I found Thursday. Then I started playing guitar, and then that's, I got kind of funneled into that music movement. So then it was like Story of the Year and Finch, and so I just did When We Were Young Fest. So
right.
I was I am the consumer for that. I'm in my 30s, and I at one point absolutely wanted to be a person in that music movement. I wanted to be Adam Lazzaro from Taking Back Sunday, and I loved all that stuff. So that kind of kept that sort of kept me in the whole entire underground music movement. And then college happened, and then it was like I started getting into heavier music, and I had to know all the subgenres. So I was listening to a lot of this like political screamo stuff, like Orchid and Seisha, and all these bands that sounded like cars hitting people and just
yeah, right.
And, like, apparently the lyrics were very anti-pop. I couldn't make out a single lyric. Like all that stuff just sounded like, and then I loved it. And then there's this band Boys Night Out, and they were combining like kind of hardcore with pop punk, and I really loved them. And then I started this band, This or the Apocalypse, and we just randomly started playing metalcore stuff, and we got signed to a record label, and then I'm on tour with August Burns Red, and then we meet the guy from Lamb of God, and then we got the drummer of Lamb of God producing a CD for us. And at no point during any of this shit could I really actually sing or play guitar. So that was interesting. That was interesting to navigate. So just to answer your question in 10 minutes.
Yeah. I love it.
Did I think I was a musician? I was always kind of looking at it from an angle going, I think I could figure out how to do that. And then the times where it went well were intoxicating, and I fucking loved every moment of it. But then there were a lot of times where it was like, I was getting verifiable evidence that no, you are not a musician. You have a lot of shit to learn. And that's kind of been, whenever I meet people who talk about doing what I do or anything, and they're usually like in their early 20s or something. They're like, oh, sometimes I never learned how to do that stuff, and it's too late. It's like, dude, I'm still getting lessons. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Just lie your way into it. Put me as a reference.
There you go.
I'll say whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. Lie your way in. That's what I did.
There you go. And I respect that. And I also respect that you're like willing to give the long answer, because like being on this side of the industry, when you're picking people's brains and you're like, so how did you blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, yes. And you're like, okay, this is going great. Yeah, this is going real great. Okay, so you kind of mentioned you're actively on tour right now. You recently played the When We Were Young Fest. Was there like a favorite moment from that journey? Because I got to see a lot of like behind the scenes footage. The crowds there were just insane.
I think it was one of the best run fests I've played since Warped Tour, which could be explained by the fact that it was the people that ran Warped Tour that ran it, and
Mhm.
it made me feel like I was on Warped Tour 2018 again, and that was one of the best times of my life. So I was a pretty happy person there. Just everything went smoothly. I Nothing got in the way between me and seeing any of the bands that I wanted to see, except
That's
having
good.
to play an Ice Nine Kills set, which was
Right.
fucking annoying. But other than that,
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen such positive, and obviously, what happened weekend one with the wind delay, and I there was
okay.
yeah,
So I feel so bad. I feel so bad for anybody
of course, but safety first always. Safety first always. So,
I'm gonna say this. I needed that off day
mhm,
so bad because we had so much stuff going on, and flights keep getting lately airports have been so bad with flight delays and everything.
mhm.
Like this year we've literally just been planning our flights out earlier just because we know that they're going to get delayed. And so we got into Vegas super late. We didn't get to the air. We all stayed in this big Airbnb. It was amazing. We got there at like 1:30 in the morning. There's a fucking basketball court in the back of it. There's like bocce ball. There's a pool. There's a hot tub. There's like foosball inside the house. Like clearly somebody just bought a building to make an Airbnb for groups of people because it could house like 21 people. And we got there and we're like, fuck, we have to wake up in like 6 hours and go straight to the fest. And so we did. We woke up, and right when we were about to leave, we got the notification, which was literally just somebody forwarding it to our tour manager because it went
Mm,
public. When we're Young Fest this big, the bands normally don't know stuff before. Like we found out about the tour when it got announced. There were NDAs in place. We were not allowed to know about the festival. So when it initially came out, we were sharing it on group chat thinking it was bullshit, you
oh
know? And
God.
so it went, and then somebody's like, A Day to Remember just posted this. And we're like, I beg your fucking pardon. Like, why would they post this bullshit? And then they're like, Avril Lavigne just posted this. And you're like, they even fooled Avril Lavigne. Like what? And then that was when our booking agent got a hold of Spencer and let him know. So when the event got canceled that day, we weren't told. We weren't even told when we were put on the event. Why would we get told when it got canceled?
Right, no, of
So,
course. Heard it through
so
the
you know,
grapevine.
yeah. And then I had the nicest off day I've ever had because there were big concrete walls around the Airbnb. So the wind wasn't a problem. I could see the palm trees doing this, but inside of it, I spent 4 hours working on my basketball shot because I've
And
always it got better.
good, good.
Yeah. So I will say I loved that. I loved that off day. I know a lot of people didn't because they lost a lot of money, and I'm sorry about that. But just getting one day off before the longest 2 weeks of my life. We did When We Were Young, flew right to Mexico, played Mexico, off day, flew back, did When We Were Young, then we started a tour. I've never been that dried out and tired.
I well, but before I ask you a little bit more about the tour, you mentioned obviously you're staying at an Airbnb. Have you had the opportunity to see Barbarian yet? I know you're a busy man.
Now, I don't watch a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Unfortunately, most of my free time is on my laptop trying to produce people's music, and
Mhm.
I'm always weeks behind. So a movie, I can never convince myself to spend that long doing something.
That's totally fair. You are a busy person, and that's what I wanted to ask about next. Is like your off days are incredibly rare. So
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the event that you're not on your computer working on production, what is your like dream off day?
I'd like to rock climb. When I have my off days, I my favorite ones. I usually get a run in. I'll do something like rock climbing, or I'll go to the gym or something like that. I try to go. I usually want to go see something cultural, in town. Like yesterday when we were in Tulsa, we had to go see Black Wall Street and the Tulsa Cultural Center. Today in St. Louis, had to go see the big arch and, just go grab coffee, check it out, come back. I, you know, we went go karting the one day. I actually really like. I like that a lot more. Like the really fast ones. I got first place on the first run. I got like fifth on the
Awesome.
second one, but I loved that. I really do like to go do like sightseeing type stuff and like just any exciting fun thing. Like when we are in Reno, I did the rock wall that goes up. There's a hotel that you climb up the side of the hotel and you're hanging like 60 feet above the street in Reno.
Oh boy.
I loved that. So, if I could go like skydiving or some shit like that, I would do that.
So you're a thrill
You
seeker,
know,
is what I'm getting from this.
not to any ridiculous extent. Like I'm not trying to parkour on buildings or anything.
Oh, it's
But
never too late. Yeah.
I like to go on roller coasters and just try to stay like psychopath calm on them. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Sure.
Just try to see if I can like keep my breathing steady and just go through it.
Do you have a favorite coaster?
No, no, they're all fine.
Great. Lovely. Yeah, see, I'm like a Universal Studios kid because those are like just enough that I like
Yeah.
get the thrill of it, but I'm also not, perpetually hanging upside down for most of it. So, yeah.
So Iceland Kills gets to do a lot more cool free shit. Uh, the other day we had an off day. We went to go see the #1 haunted house in America, which was in where was that? That was in Tucson. It was awesome. They had a zombie shooting range where you go through and there's four of us with a laser. You get a real assault rifle it's a laser gun, and you gotta shoot them in the head with the laser. And that was when like my tactical stuff started coming out. My family works in police equipment,
Oh,
so we were going to do that, and I didn't even think about it. I'm like, Chevy, eyes there. All right, Chris, go look over. I'm like doing this shit, and they're like, "What the fuck are you saying? What is wrong with you? Why are you saying this shit?" And I was like, "Oh, sorry, my dad's just been saying shit like this to me since I was like 7. I like it's just like, you know what I mean?" So I do. I I saw. I would say one of these days, on one of those off days, there's that video of Keanu Reeves, and he's just running around shooting every fucking thing, and just like bam, 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 pulls out a gun. And I want to learn how to do that someday.
yeah.
That would be a perfect off day. Is go shoot shit with Keanu Reeves.
Man, how do we set that up? Keanu, if you're watching, long time watcher. Yeah.
Keanu.
Keanu. Oh my God. Oh, love him so much.
Big Matrix fan. Big Matrix fan. And
Same.
that's why I didn't watch the new one.
Good. Then you'll remain a big Matrix fan.
Exactly. I'm like, that's how much I like that. That's how much I like the original trilogy.
So which pill do you take? Are you going red or blue?
I think I already listen. To understand why I took the red pill, you'd have. Oh wait, no. I don't know. Like, because I think I'm like kind of like medium woke. You know what I mean? Like, but I've had friends who've talked to me and they're like, you're not that progressive. They're like, really? Because I always thought I was like a frothing. I grew up with a family that works with police officers, so I always thought I was like a unhinged liberal about things. So I think the red pill, blue pill thing kind of has a connotation to it because 4chan picked it up on red pilling people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We definitely don't have to get political, but it's.
Of course not. And we're not going to under any circumstance. I don't have the framework for it. But what I was going to say is I do think I'm pretty blue pilled because there is no way my life is not a simulation. I just played shows with Metallica. Donald Trump was a president at one point. That guy, the guy from the one show, like
The Apprentice. Yeah.
And like GameStop used to be this thing that like I'd make my mom go spend money at, and now it's this thing where like all these bros are, you know what I mean? Like everything from my past just keeps like getting remixed in some like weird nightmarish way, and I think that's what happens when at one point during your life you take the blue pill, where it's just like, okay, it's going to start seeming a little simulation-ish because we're going to start running out of like, the writers are going to start running out of ideas. So yeah, just expect to start seeing celebrities from before like show up as new leaders. expect to be in a horror movie band with all these guys from bands you used to tour with 10 years ago, and you're like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about? And then
Right?
that's your life. You know what I
Insane.
mean? Yeah,
Insane.
that's so I think I'm pretty blue pilled.
Fair. Very fair. I love it. I think
It's very simulation-ish.
yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I like your perspective once again on all of that. Okay, so out of curiosity, seeing as you are on tour, do you have any like pre-show rituals? Is there anything that you do or as a group?
Yeah, it keeps growing, but every day I got to go for a run and sing all the songs. So I run and I sing them quietly to myself. Um, I try to get like kind of like 15 minutes of weights in, or just anything to like
The
make
pump.
my muscles. Yeah, just 'cause I'm really obsessive about working on my posture. So I think I've kind of like, and then I have to do like I do like about an hour of guitar stuff a day. That's all like shit I have to do pre-show, and so I try to start early with that. And then from that point on, we do makeup every day, and so that requires us all to be in a room together. So I don't know. I think that's kind of our ritual because we do that. We always have to do a fist bump before the show. It's
Important.
always Pat's always initiating the fist bump. Like I always see Pat's hand. I'm like, oh, God, what a good dick. Like what a good guy always remembering this because he's like walking around making sure everybody's got the fist bump. I love him.
Oh, I love that. Is there anything that you have to bring with you on the road, like besides the obvious, just something that is comforting to you that you like to have?
Um, I have this muscle, this like massager gun, one of
Yes,
those things.
I have one
Yeah, I
too.
think.
Amazing.
Which one do you get?
I don't know, but it's a pretty heavy duty one. Like my husband and I, like the first one we got wasn't enough. Now the one we have is like,
Yeah, mine's the Hypervolt.
maybe he can tell me in the comments. I'm sure he'll know what it is. I don't know. But
I
yeah,
think that I think that thing, and then uh, like like an El Chapo amount of edibles for the bus rides, and
cool.
I think those are the things that I have to bring.
Important. Very important. Okay. So how about two more questions and then we're going to go to our game because we do have a game. So I'm taking this one from the comments. They want to know, and if you know, that'd be cool too, if there's going to be a Silver Scream 3.
I don't know.
Okay.
And if I, you have to understand how hard I would get fired if I actually did know and I just decided to leak that information on a
Like right here,
podcast.
right now.
Yeah. Like the firing would be so immediate and
Mhm.
quick. It would be like, are you fucking serious, man?
Yeah.
You have to go home, and it would be like, yeah, no.
Yeah. And we don't want that. We want you
Yeah.
still in the band. So
Yeah, I think people like me in the gig.
it's so funny, like questions and comments that we get when people like try to spoil or something. And yeah.
You're like, listen, the gig's just starting to get fun. Like, can we not fire me?
But I think like the good follow-up would be that obviously Silver Scream has been such a huge success and the guest list has been insane. So
I will say, like, there's no big plan yet. There's I know Spencer has a lot of ideas and he bumps them past us all the time, but like Spencer's the visionary. He thinks of all the shit. So like he's an extremely collaborative person. Spencer loves like writing with other people and kicking ideas around. He has like a whole team of different people that he likes to work with, and he's really good at what he does. But I think there have been a lot of ideas. You hear a lot of ideas like a year before they're executed, and they never look anything like what the ideas are. When you're just like, so I don't know, I'm thinking maybe we do something like this. They're like, oh yeah, cool. Like I've heard like 10 different thoughts on it.
sure.
Like, I don't know, maybe we do this and then we do that or something. I don't know. And you're always just like, yeah, I don't know. You're the dude. So
Yeah, and I'm not sure whether like outside people like that don't do like conventions and stuff understand how much planning goes into these things. So it's just it's It's a lot.
Well,
It's a lot.
Silver Scream 2, I will say this. Silver Scream 2, I don't know, and this is a concern that has been expressed between multiple people, is nobody knows the sheer amount of insane, the amount of like small detail oriented writing went into that album, and how are we going to do that without a pandemic? So it's like, shit,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you're right. Because now we're touring all the time. Like we spent like 8 months out of the year on tour. That stuff ain't happening on tour. So
Yeah.
I think at some point we're going to have to start figuring it out while we're on the road. But we definitely haven't yet. Each of the members has like, we always write things and give them to Spencer in hopes he uses them. Like, hey, I got this idea for this movie. You should check it out.
Yeah.
And you're basically giving it to somebody and they'll listen to it and be like, yeah, there's a couple parts in there I think we might use as a demo. And you're like, all right, cool. So all of us have kind of done that where we've sort of like sent Spencer something and be like, if you want to make a song about this could work. And, if he uses it, we get a cut of it. If not, whatever,
Yeah. Awesome. So, okay, kind of in lieu with albums and other music and stuff, and obviously, like when we started this tonight, you have a very diverse group of music that you listen to. Like you mentioned Alanis growing up and Nirvana, but is there like a song or a particular artist that, let's say you're kind of having like an off day, that you can like put on and it will instantly change your mood around?
Yeah, if I can pop on any of the old early 2000s Blink-182 or any other type of pop punk, I think any of the old AFI stuff, Anti-Flag, Further Seems Forever, Snowbirds and Townies by Further Seems Forever. That would definitely be, American Football, any of that stuff.
Awesome.
That'll all do the trick.
Cool. All right.
Or old Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, for sure.
He was so fun. He was so electric. Still is.
There's a song with like Janet Jackson that always like continuously gets stuck in my head.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that music video.
I do too. It was iconic. Amazing. Have you ever seen him live before?
Yes, I have. Yeah, he is a fucking legend.
Yeah, for sure. Heck yeah. Okay, so we have a game, Ricky. This is a game of Would You Rather. There is no wrong answers. Whatever you choose as the correct answer is the correct answer. So it's as simple as that. I'm going to give you two options. And here, these aren't necessarily easy, but you're going to do great. Okay, here's the first one. Would you rather switch set lists with Black Veil Brides or switch set lists with Slipknot?
I think switch set lists with Slipknot because I would love to play a few of those songs live. I Jim Root stuff is so fun.
Yes. And they, oh my gosh, you were recently touring with Slipknot, yes?
Yes. Yeah, we just had, and there was this one break in the middle of their set where he just plays this rhythm part over and over. It's like, and just his hand is so tight, and it made me. I listened to it once, and I was like, God damn it! And I usually set a timer on my warm-ups that I do every day to 5 minutes. I changed it to 10 minutes because I was just like, dude, I gotta get to that. That's what I want.
Amazing. So good. And like, plus like, I don't know how Corey does that with all the masks. Like, it just blows my mind. Like when everything was happening with the pandemic and people were complaining about wearing masks, I was like, look at Corey Taylor. He's like literally doing this.
Yeah, he's been fine.
Oh, yeah, he's been great. All right, here's the next one. Go ahead.
That mask is like moving around. It's like an extension of his face almost. Whoever made that.
Oh, I love this new mask so much. Oh, yeah. So good. Okay, here's the next one. Would you rather own a guitar that belonged to Prince or own a guitar that belonged to Eddie Van Halen?
Own a guitar that belonged to Prince.
Good choice. Great choice.
Oh, I am sorry, man. I am not turning down a guitar by Prince.
I feel like it'd have to be like the purple with the arrow. Yeah, I don't know what he called that guitar, but
You give me anything that was good enough for that guy, it's good enough for me.
perfect. Fair enough. Okay. Would you rather have Beethoven as a pet or Max from The Mask as a pet?
Oh God, that is Max from the Mask was very important to me, and Max was very important to me. I did love Beethoven too, but my lifestyle is a little too active for him. I think that somebody else would should be there to walk in more.
Okay. Great answer. Max. Max it is. Okay. Here's the next one. Would you rather write a song about a sketchy Airbnb or write a song about a demon that forces you to smile?
I actually think I'd rather write the song about the demon forcing you to smile.
Mm,
Because I've literally, I feel like I've experienced that before in some circumstances when I don't want to smile and I'm required to put one on,
uh-huh.
and it very much feels like a demon has forced me to do such.
Okay. Fair. Okay. We're learning things here today, folks. Okay.
Got
Here's
content for
yeah. All right. Here's the next one. Ooh, I like this one a lot. Okay. Would you rather hang out with the vampires from the Lost Boys or hang out with the vampires from What We Do in the Shadows?
it. Well, that is the toughest one so far. I
Okay.
think you know I'm gonna have to put aside um, what I know every single uh, like girl in their 20s or 30s would say, which is hang out with the Lost Boys. I want to hang out with the what we do in the Shadows crew. They're so funny.
So good. So,
I
so,
love
so
it.
good. Have you seen like the original movie
Yeah,
that they did?
yeah. I saw the movie. I've only seen a few episodes of the show. I love the show though.
Yeah, it's so phenomenal. But yeah, shout out to Kiefer Sutherland. I The Lost Boys is so good. So, so, so good. Okay, here's the next one. And you kind of partially answered this one earlier, but let's get your actual answer. So, would you rather perform with the first band you ever saw live or perform with the first band whose album you bought?
I think probably performed with the first band whose album I bought.
And what album was that?
I would say the first one I remember buying is at the drive-in Relationship of Command.
Okay. Okay. Good
I
answer.
know I know I bought other ones before that, but I can't remember any of them. Shit. I think the first album that I bought may have been Juvenile from the Cash Money Millionaires.
Oh,
Stand to,
wow.
stand to buy it.
Oh my God. But what's funny is like so the first album I remember
Chugi, hit me up.
like yeah, right? Hit him up. Yeah.
If you're watching.
The
That
first
was one of my favorites.
yeah. I was saying the first album I remember ever buying was Candy Ass from Orgy. And now I have the singer from Orgy coming on here in a couple weeks. So I'm like, I that album was
Congratulations.
thanks. Thank you. It just I don't know what it is about that album. I guess because it was my first album that I ever bought. It's just big meaning to me. What a great album. Okay.
Do they still perform?
I'm not sure. I don't
Look this up afterwards. I gotta know because I used to rollerblade while listening to that record.
it's a great record. Like it's so good start to finish. And it was like the first time I ever heard music like that because it was alternative but like gothic. But oh, I love that album. Okay, here's we got two more. Oh no, wait, one more. Oh no, this is the last one. And
That's
this is
it.
another tough one. I apologize in advance for this one. Would you rather be a reverse centaur or a reverse merman?
Centaur.
Hmm, okay. Any reasons or you just
Um, no.
okay. You don't have to give me one. I mean, based off this picture, I feel like that is the right answer.
I don't want to be a fish because fish are assholes.
Are they? Okay. That sounds personal, but yes, okay.
I like horses.
I do too. I do too. Well, you got them all right, Ricky. Thank you so much. This has
Thank
been
you.
so much fun. I know, your downtime is really precious to you. And so I feel really honored that you're willing to spend a little bit of your day with me and
Thank you
everyone
so
watching. But before we do wrap it up, any final thoughts you want to leave us with here on this fine, fine Thursday?
No, I guess I want to thank everybody coming out to these Trinity of Terror shows. They've been huge, and I've been trying to stay on top of making all my online content for people and everything while doing the tours, while doing the music production stuff and everything. So, it's very hard to stay on top of everything, but my fans have been so cool and so funny. So I definitely want to just thank all of these people who have been paying attention to the stuff that I do, and I appreciate it.
Heck yeah. Well, you're actually going to be in my neck of the woods in a couple weeks, so we'll have to come check you out
All
because
right, well,
you'll be
you
in.
DM me on the side and make sure that I can get you into the show.
I will. Yeah. It's in Boca Raton. You're coming to Boca Raton, so that'll be a fun one.
All right, I love Boca Raton.
Yes, me too. Me too. Anyway, before I do let you go, release you back into St. Louis, I'm going to go over our upcoming guests that we have coming up next Tuesday. From Whose Line Is It Anyway? We have Gary Anthony Williams. We also have dentist and comedian Jimmy Lee, former WWE superstar Al Snow. We also have Casey Jost from Impractical Jokers, Jay Gordon from Orgy, and Duncan Sheik, musician. He's written so many incredible Broadway musicals like Spring Awakening and American Psycho. But Ricky, thank you so much. This was so much fun. Thank you for being so open and honest and telling us all of your stories. And corgis are the best.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, until we meet again, we'll see you guys real soon. Be safe, everybody.
Take care.